A warning from Iran. The head of Iran's Revolutionary Guard telling a crowd in Tehran yesterday, if the United States and its Middle Eastern allies cross its, quote, red line, they will be destroyed. The Islamic Republic dealing with nationwide protests over an increase in fuel prices. Iran blaming the United States and its allies for the demonstrations, despite the fact that they raised food prices and the price of food and fuel has been soaring. Joining us right now is Fox News senior strategic analyst General Jack Keane. General, it's always a pleasure. Thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah, good to see you, Maria.
Let's first start on what Iran did. So Iran raises the price of fuel on top of all other commodities having seen price increases, and that brought on the demonstrations, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just exacerbated an already tense situation because the economy, the downfall of it is just squeezing the life out of the people in Iran. The only people that are spared are the elites, and it was a 50% increase in gasoline prices, and that brought the people out in a desperate way in the streets of Iran. It's something we have not seen in 40 years, over 100 cities simultaneously having demonstrations, and they are flat blaming the regime. They are blaming the regime's behavior for not providing an effective governance, for not providing an economy that's working properly, and they know full well that the regime has taken the money that they received as a result of the nuclear deal with the Obama administration, some $130 billion, wow, Maria, and poured most of that into their military operations in Lebanon, in Syria, in Yemen, and also in Iraq. That's what they've been up to with the money, and now the people are fed up with it.
So the people know. The people really know who they're dealing with in terms of the leadership, the regime. Meanwhile, the regime blames the United States. And they said that if they continue getting involved in Iran, that the U.S. and its allies will be destroyed. What should we take away from that? I mean, what is this retaliation that we're expecting? And will the U.S. put sanctions on specific leaders in Iran?
Yeah. Well, a couple of things. This is the first significant fissure that we have seen in the Iranian model of domination and control of their own people, of the people in Lebanon, and also the Iraqi Shia, because there's massive demonstrations in those two other countries simultaneously for the same reason: lack of effective governance, lack of quality of life for the people that Iran is influencing. The maximum sanctions have truly taken its toll, Maria, probably gone beyond anybody's expectations in terms of the pressure that Iran feels. The rhetoric you're hearing today doesn't mean that Iran is going to start a war with the United States. They know they would lose that. As a matter of fact, our additional 14,000 troops that we have put into the region has likely deterred them from attacking us. But I do think, Maria, that it's still likely in their playbook that they will use military operations to disrupt the oil flow, affect the world economy, try to create a recession if they can, that would put pressure on the United States to remove the sanctions. I still believe they're going to move towards that before they move to negotiate a compromise with the Trump administration. But down the road, the only exit they really have here is some kind of deal with the United States. But I don't believe they're there yet.
All right, we'll keep watching that one.